Alright, weekly SMT with Euro here, and from there I went to my hourly chart, and I was trying to get in before price took out its 18 o'clock high. And so this was a valid swing low to potentially offer some sort of reversal from, as well as the SMT with the weekly low gold euro. So from there, I was waiting for a lower time frame signature to form. But the only reason I was even interested in looking for longs is because the short setup got completely invalidated. So you guys can see how price opens, shallow run into the high, and then distributes lower. So we have expansion met with a V-shaped reversal, met with more expansion. So to me, this move is lethargic until we get this price run. And when I'm looking for price to continue in a phase of price, I'm looking for price to put in a reversal signature or a continuation signature in this case because price has been bearish on gold for the last few days, right? So after that large sell-off, we have the SMT at the low with gold euro. And when price is looking to potentially trade lower, I want price to use the old swing lows as resistance as well as put in a continuation signature just slightly above or below the equilibrium of this range, which is just the 18 o'clock high to this low. And the other thing I didn't like is this candle closure here, as well as this, how fast price was moving during this time. You can't see it in obviously bar replay, but price was pretty explosive after that SMT occurred. And so once I saw this here, this price leg, and price leaves these relative equal highs up here, I'm expecting all of this to get ran now. The short setup is completely invalidated, and I'm looking for this lower time frame PD raise to confirm my bias. So all I did is I saw that this 15-minute fair value gap got formed, and I entered off of the 3-minute fair value gap here, and my stop loss was based off of this lower time frame breaker here, as well as anticipating that this gap should most likely stay open. So I went long right here at 11.4. Stop loss is right here. And my take profit was 2R. And then my XFA or my TradeFi accounts I held for this high up here. So if I play price, you guys can see what happens. Almost get stopped out. There was an SMT down here with euro. Gold is again. And then once I saw this change in the state of delivery prior or after almost getting stopped here, this is where the SMT occurred. I knew that I was most likely on side now. And my risk was removed once we closed above this high, which price did. It took a while to do, but once price took this high here and closed above, I was break even. I didn't want to see price stall here any longer, and ended up getting smacked for my 2R slightly right here on this candle. And basically just trusted that the lower time frame signature, if you look at the 1 minute as well, I didn't use the 1 minute to trade, but I did look at this. You guys can see V shape, right? Change in the state of delivery. More expansion. Bullish PD rays are starting to act as support now. This is that EQ where I'm expecting price to retrace from and continue lower if we're going to go lower. And then this move here completely invalidates the short bias because price should never really be in the upper portion of the range when it's looking to have some sort of continuation in price. And then seeing that the bullish PD arrays were created, I just used the 3 minute just because I like the lower time frame breaker as an invalidation point. That's where I used. That's what I used based off of my stop loss logic, and then you guys can see this order block here is used as support all the way until all of our draw on liquidities is met. So at that point, I was break even, sat through a little bit of retracement. This order block still doing its thing, and then price ended up hitting my TP as well as taking out all the equal highs. Logical level met. I always say you want to be completely skilled out mostly of your position, and then you guys can see what happens afterwards. Follows a pretty deep retracement. lower. So that is why it's important to take your position off at relative points. And you can see if I would just go to the 4-hour, this was that 4-hour high that price reversed from, and at the hourly, it was the hourly gap and that hourly high that I outlined prior. That is where price ended up reversing from. But that was how I caught 4R on my XFA and a little over 2R on my Tradeify accounts.